Hi, Crickellectuals. Welcome back to another episode of the Crickellectuals podcast. We are excited, Rufan and I, to be co-hosting again our new episode. We have lots to talk about, but let's start with Rufan. What's up, Rufan? Where you been? How you been?
I'm good, man. Just Friday night. Looking forward to the weekend. Work was busy as usual. Coming back from the holidays last week and enjoying some test match.
Yeah, it's been a light week at work. Finally, work's been really busy. Like you said last time too, November is just really busy. And now leading up to the holidays, things are calming down a little bit. And everybody's just looking forward to the holiday now here too. So I can't wait till we get to that part of the year. Winter, stay home with family and have some fun, enjoy the kids a little bit, be with our families a little bit more. So looking forward to that.
You've been catching up on test matches. I don't know what your threshold is when it comes to sitting down all day and watching a 5-day match.
Yeah, man. With both our day jobs, it's really, really difficult to be watching the test match. I mean, the test match, here in New York, it starts at 11 o'clock at night. So the game that's going on right now, by the way, we're in the second test match, Pakistan and Bangladesh, second and the final test match of this Bangladeshi tour that the Pakistani team is doing. So it's going on right now. And I watch whenever I sit down and it's on. A lot of times it's early morning, like 5 a.m. if there's still a part of the game that's going on and I'm driving to work and I kind of listen in on it. But besides that, haven't really watched an entire test match, which is really, really becoming harder and harder to do with our present day lifestyles.
Yeah, I think it's actually only possible to pay attention when it's in odd times. You got to give up your sleep to watch a test match. In US, the lifestyle is so busy. There's no way if it comes on 8 a.m. that we're sitting there and watching this. And weekends are busy as well. So I do find myself late nights. Incredible how I never had any interest in test matches growing up. But now if you get caught in that vortex of strategy and you understand what the bowling side is trying to do, and they're making these different variations and field placements, it catches you off guard and you're there for 2 hours because you start to figure out what the strategy is. And on the batting end, you see these batsmen just playing shots so late and they're testing themselves and their skill. And you can certainly tell why Test cricket is still around and the pleasure that these experienced players take in playing the game for 5 days in a row. Very difficult for any other athletes in any other sport, but they keep on going. It is interesting if you're really into it.
Yeah, it's grueling, man. And every player that we meet and talk to, or listen to, they always rank test games as the, epitome of cricket and what it means to be a competitive professional cricketer. So, and it's totally understandable because really you do get to hone in your craft a lot. You get to really be in the conditions for a long time. It's physically very rigorous, like you're saying. You have to be in pretty good shape to be able to last 5 days, especially in different kinds of weather conditions as well. People are playing a lot of times in the summer heat. Sometimes the games are, in really hot climates, dry weather. And it really does push every player to their limits. In fielding, just imagine fielding if you're a batsman who only, contributes to the team in batting, but you got at least 2.5, 3 days of just being out there in the field under the sun, just like waiting for the ball to come to you. It's really a test. It's a test of your nerves, your skills, your stamina, your temperament, all of the above. So I could see why Test cricket continues and should continue. But from the spectator's point of view, it's beautiful to watch in spurts, I feel, in chunks. And you learn a lot about the game. You learn a lot about how players are developing, especially, and how players handle different kinds of bowling, and you get to really see their full spectrum of skill set, not just like one dimension. So it is definitely valuable to see if you're a student of the game and if you want to really understand how the game is played and what are the factors that affect the game. So definitely valuable, but hard to watch nevertheless.
Yeah, definitely test our skill set too.
Yeah. And patience.
Yeah, a lot
Um,
of patience for sure. So, what do you make out of this Pakistan versus Bangladesh first test? What do you think overall? Did you see any weaknesses and where our strength was? And how do you rate Bangladeshi team?
yeah, I feel that Pakistan did really well. I did have, again, a scare moment in their first innings, Pakistan batting. So Bangladesh set the target of 330. Well, it wasn't a target. It was their first inning total of 330, and Pakistan didn't really cross it, didn't make it. We were all out at 286. So the point being that the openers kicked in, and then that was it. And Babar's poor showing is continuing. With the bat, I mean, obviously, is being a great captain, I feel, but the batting just kind of collapsed. And you also have to give credit to the other side. Taijul Islam, the guy with who took what was it, 7 wickets in that
Yeah,
first showing of Pakistan. So really got Pakistan. He had the ball turning a lot, and the problem is that our hitters hadn't seen that kind of turn and that kind of quality bowling for a long time. We're not getting like pitches where you get Shane Warne kind of style of bowling and crazy turns. But Tejul really maximized the conditions and really got the better of Pakistan. But what I really loved and was impressed by how Pakistan came back, both in bowling and in batting. So Bangladesh was all out on their second inning for 157, and Shaheen and Hassan Ali together in both the innings, they both had 7 wickets apiece. In the first one, Hassan had 5. In the second one, Shaheen had 5. And then they both
yeah,
had 2, respectively. So they both showed up. And then, most importantly, how our batting responded to Tejul Islam. We didn't talk about this in the free hit, but the batting really, like, they showed that they could learn very quickly. They didn't want to give him any more wickets. I was completely thinking that Tejul was going to get in Punjabi, they say dasa marega. So dasa, meaning they'll get 10 wickets. And
yeah.
I could see him getting 10 wickets. I was like, dang, this guy's going to rip through Pakistan and it's over. But after he got 7 wickets in one innings, he only got one more in the next one. So that tells me that, our players really went back, talked about it, studied him, understood him as quickly as possible. And they're like, this is going to be our approach when we face him again. So I was very interested in that aspect of it. And I felt the players showed that they were smart and intelligent and they were willing to do the homework and also show patience against quality bowling when it's happening, because not everything always goes your way. You have to be ready to respond to the situation specific choices. So that's what I was most impressed with.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. This come from behind type of method, especially against Bangladesh, is becoming common with Pakistan. It almost feels like it's intentional. They try to lose early on. And if you look at T20 matches that we played in Bangladesh, it was the same type of story. Overall, I thought it was a well-fought competition. Both teams were equally impressive. I know it seems like we beat them with 8 wickets, but it really came down to day 5. And had Bangladesh scored another 100 runs in their second innings, it would have been a different story. It could have been a draw. But looking at the batting side, Abid Ali, man, it was just amazing. The guy almost got 2 centuries, which is rare. I think there's only a few players who have scored hundreds in both innings, and he came really close. And bad luck, he got out 94, I think it was. What's the other guy?
Abdullah Shafiq.
Abdullah Shafiq. Who is this guy, first of all? I They must have seen a spark in this guy that he's in the team, and whatever they saw in him, it definitely worked. It looks like he only played one first class match. He definitely had all the boxes ticked off and the qualities for a test cricketer, and he did well. He did 250s, and that's rare too. I don't know if that's some type of record for new player to come in and score 50s in both innings. Other than that, I can't really praise anybody else. And I can't blame anybody else either, because Rizwan and Azhar Ali, they only got one chance, right? Pretty much the second innings was over with after Abid Ali and Abdullah Shafiq got out. They only needed like 50 something score. So you can't really analyze how well they would have done in the second innings.
Mhm.
Babar, however, is concerning. What do you think is going on with him? You think he's finding the pitch conditions difficult, or is it worse than that? Has he lost form?
Yeah, what I'm seeing, I mean, to me, it kind of started early on in this series in Bangladesh. He was getting bowled out. And, that in my experience, when a batsman is getting bowled out, you're not protecting, you're not focusing on your defense as much, your defensive tactics or, how you're covering yourself. Or you're not reading the pitch good enough that you constantly misjudge the pace or the bounce.
You're not picking up the line.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, and that's fine. I do think he is kind of a thinker also, and it takes him a while to settle and get into a flow. When he's in form for a while. He's paying a lot of attention to his technique, and in a new situation, it's harder for him. He's the kind of like a not a slow learner, I don't think, but he's a he works at a slow pace, I think, in general. That is my, I guess, view of him, which I like because I don't think it's smart to be rushing into things, but I think it does kind of trickle down to his actual batting approach. You talked about last time the shift going from T20 to Test and
Right.
changing the mindset and changing your approach and changing a little bit of your captaincy probably, depending on what the situation demands. This is a new set of players. I think Babar gels really well with the T20 players, and he knows them really well, and he knows them for a long time. He has deep relationships with them. This team, a few new faces, few different faces, maybe there's a bit of gelling that has to be done, and he has to feel more comfortable to go out there and perform. So maybe it's a little bit of that too. I hope he comes out of this, but I do think when you're a player like Babar Azam, you are also on everybody's crosshairs. You're the target. It's you against all of them because they're like, that's the guy we got to get out. That's the guy. So Bangladeshi team probably already also had specific plans for him, and they did a good job of restricting him. So we got to give them credit where that's due also.
Right. There are a lot of new players that he doesn't know, doesn't probably get along with them as well as he does with T20 squad.
Yeah.
And then you have senior players who are given all types of advice because they played
Yeah.
more tests than Babar. And basically, there's too many chefs in one kitchen, and that
Mm.
can make life difficult as well. And hopefully, Babar comes around and he's more used to the pitch conditions and the squad altogether. What about Fawad Alam? Any blame on him or bad luck? Got out earlier in the first innings and didn't really get a chance in the second one.
The latter, I would say, what you just said. I think we got to give him a chance too, man. There's so little Test cricket happening. He'll probably perform, but if he doesn't, it's fine. It's just not
Yeah,
enough cricket for him.
and he didn't get to play the second innings. He's definitely makes a comeback, astonishing one too. Like every time he got out under 10 in previous Test matches, he would come back with a century in the second innings. So yeah, so no blame on him really, but hopefully they do click. And overall, I think the squad is pretty strong. Abid Ali, we expected him to do well. Abdullah Shafiq came out of nowhere. He's doing well. So if, let's say, Babar, Rizwan, Azhar, or Fawad, one of them click in the next test match, we got a pretty strong batting order here. We should be able to get a sweep out of this series as well. What about Bangladeshi side? Litan Dash, how
Yeah,
impressive is that guy? 114 and 59 when on the second innings. I think he was the only one playing out there. Had a lot of pressure, but he kept his nerves together and he performed pretty well as well.
yeah, really, really great. I mean, this guy again. You score a century, and you're the only one who did. And also in the second innings, he's kind of like Abdullah Shafiq. He
Yeah.
he had a century and then he had a 59. And I think Bangladesh is very lucky to have him. I think Bangladesh did some things well, but overall their bowling in general, I think, is the reason why they lost. I don't think it's necessarily the batting. And also you think about our bowling, we had some of the best bowling in the world. So against the Pakistani team to bat like that definitely deserves credit. And in both of his innings, he did lose his wicket to a pacer. So Hassan Ali got him out the first time. Shaheen Shah Afridi got him out the second time. And as we've said before, between Hassan and Shaheen, they have 14 wickets out of the 22. So we definitely can see that Bangladesh is struggling with fast bowling. And again, if you're going to make pitches like that, focus pitches. You're going to make pitches that are more spinner friendly and unpredictable and whatnot. This is the kind of thing that's going to happen. You're going to get one good innings from one of your players once in a while, and that's great, good for Litton Dash. But besides that, they really got to work on their pitches to give their own batting and own players a good competition so that they grow and become better players.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point you bring in. We keep on forgetting, and again, we're not used to Pakistan winning as much as they have been. Thanks to us for starting this podcast because things have changed for for good. I think our
Yeah.
next podcast should be on Pakistan economy or something.
Yes.
Just turn that around as well.
Pakistan economy, by the way, on a side note, man, I just heard the stock market was almost crashed just 2 days ago or something in Pakistan. So
Yeah.
that we need a podcast on that for sure.
Let's get some free hits in to stabilize and then take it from
Yeah.
there. Yeah, so speaking of bowling, man, Pakistan were definitely amazing. Hassan Ali, he always never surprises you with these comebacks. He would have one bad outing and get criticized and come back with aggressive manner. 7 wickets altogether. And what I like about Hassan Ali, man, you don't get to see stumps flying around that much these days. And Hassan Ali gets a lot of bowls. He hits the stumps so often, and it's just a treat to watch. And he's
Yeah.
angling the ball in so well. And a 5-4 in first inning, and then 2 wickets. He had a great outing. Shaheen Afridi, man, this guy fit right in the test environment. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna compare him with Wasim Akram. It's too early, but I definitely saw Mitch Johnson, Mitch Stark type of quality of bowling.
Mm-hmm.
And he has this incredible control where he wants to bowl. Yes, he does make mistakes, but that's where the experience comes in. But his ability to bowl where he wants to, it's pretty impressive.
And how is he like? What I can't understand this man. Like, what is this, genetic or what? But like, how is he bowling nonstop, man? I
He's
mean,
young.
I get, bro, it's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
you bowl at that pace this much, and he never rests. And sometimes I worry about that. I worry that Pakistan is playing him too much. I worry that we haven't learned from how we use fast bowlers of that caliber, of that quality, and how often we bring them in and how much rest we give them or not. I think I worry that we haven't learned from our past. We could certainly replace Shaheen, not replace permanently, but replace him to give him rest.
Yeah, and it's more important than the batters. The batsmen get to rest more. And why is that? They get to sit in the dressing room all day after they do bat, if they do bat long enough, right? And bowlers, they keep on going at it. And I completely agree. They should rest their superstars at least for one series or maybe one match. Don't play him the second test match at least. He's already proved himself. Give him rest and let him replenish, recover. And then we do have the manpower. We have a lot of pacers if you want to replace him. We had Haris Rauf, play him in one match if he does like to play test.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mohammad Abbas, he does wonders in test cricket.
Yeah, he was
Why
like
did
a
we
Muhammad
select him?
Asif kind of upcoming Muhammad Asif kind of guy.
Yeah, no, he's already made his impression. He's medium pacer, but he turns his line is just meticulous. He's our regular member of our test squad, and he wasn't selected. So coming back to your point, Shaheen could have definitely been rested, and Muhammad Abbas in. I don't know how they predicted the pitch quality in Bangladesh, and I didn't see Yasir Shah in the squad. That was surprising to me.
Yeah, they
I'm
went
not
with
sure.
Qadir.
Yeah, there's Usman Qadir, and I'm not sure if Yasir Shah is injured or whatever. I may be wrong, but he should have been definitely in the squad. We brought 2 spinners. They were both new, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they made an impression. And clearly the ball was moving quite a lot. Good thing the Pacers came through. We should have brought in one more spinner, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is an interesting point too, because I don't know what's going on with Yasir Shah. I know he didn't have a good outing the last time he was part of the crew. And I think same thing with
Mohammad Abbas.
Mohammad Abbas. He didn't give the breakthroughs when they needed, and I think that was one of Abbas's roles. He's a seamer. He was supposed to get us the breakthroughs, and we don't want just good economy. I know he had good economy, And that was his criticism, that you're got a good economy, but you're not giving us any wickets, and that's what we need. That's
Mm.
why we have you. We need you to, break partnerships. So, and same thing with Yasir Shah. He can go for a lot of runs sometimes, and that's the thing with any kind of a leg spinner. They get beat up a little bit sometimes. So the way things are going,
Yeah.
with Usman Qadir in the mix now, it's going to be a lot of competition, and he's older. So, yeah, I don't see him coming back. But like, if
Yeah.
we look, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna just mention the team real quick. Not everybody. I mean, it's mostly the same people. But Pakistan did announce the T20 and ODI squads, and we've already shared who's missing here. Its T20 team is essentially the same, but we have Mohammad Hasnain, the pacer, is in.
Yeah.
And so we'll get to see. And Khushtil Shah is in too. I feel like Khushtil Shah is really due for an innings, man. I mean, he's got to do
Since
something.
yeah,
But
he's
my
been
man's about
sitting
to get
there.
scrapped.
He's been sitting there. You've been mentioned
Yep, he's
and
got
not
his
getting a
chances.
chance. Not his fault, but now he has a chance to prove himself.
Yeah, he's got to do something, man. The couple of chances he did get, he didn't do a lot. So let's see. So T20 is essentially the same side with the addition of Muhammad Hasnain. We're gonna get to see Asif Ali and Heather Ali too, so that's gonna be fun. In ODIs, Imam Ul Haq is back, of course. He usually is part of the team. Haris Rauf, of course, is in both teams, and Muhammad Hasnain is also going to be part of the ODI squad. We don't have the playing 11 yet for either of the games. T20s, I think we start with, and then we end with the ODIs. All games are being played in Karachi, and there's a traveling reserve who's going to be Abdullah Shafiq for ODIs. So he's going to get a chance with the white ball too, which I'm interested in seeing Abdullah Shafiq. But how's he a traveling reserve if you're not traveling?
He's not even traveling from city to city.
Right?
It's
It's the
all in
same
Karachi,
city.
right? Well,
Yeah.
well, it's technically he's gonna get on a bus and go to the stadium. You know,
There's a little bit of travel involved, you
he's a
know.
reserve. Okay, he's all
So,
right. And
but it
and
is good
then
to see him there.
yeah, and then you didn't mention Dhani and Usman Qadir also
Yep.
added on. So who they left out? They left out Shoaib Malik, right? Mohammad Hafiz,
Yep. And
and
Sarfraz Ahmed, who was really not even a part of the team. I mean, I don't even know why they have his name in there, but
yeah, he's obviously no disrespect to Sarfaraz. He did win the Champions
he's
Trophy,
a former
eh,
captain. All
former
respect to him.
captain, under 19 World Cup. But where's the spark, man? What is he bringing to the table? And he's not performing in Test cricket or one day, and definitely don't see him do well in T20. So he was being dragged for a while now. Unfortunately, I think that this was just coming. Shoaib Malik and Mohammad Hafiz, I think PCB is heading towards pumping new blood in all formats, and I think you can see that they're not definitely not resting Shoaib Malik or Mohammad Hafiz. They
Right.
just didn't select them. But their approach to do the same with Test cricket, I don't know if I agree with that because these newer players, they systematically are gonna excel in T20 and limited over format because they get paid from leagues all over the world. And I don't think their longevity is going to be there to last Test cricket. So not sure why PCB is taking that approach and pumping new blood in. And you already mentioned that Shaheen Shah Afridi should have been rested. I think we should have experienced players in the test squad, but a few new players.
Yeah, I mean, let's see how this goes. I do want to, again, if we go with the spirit of just the amount of cricket that's been going on, and we want to give some of these players a break. From that angle, I do like the idea of having, some of these new guys come in to replace some of the old ones and give them a chance, give them a break. They go spend time with families for a little bit. But there's also a break coming in January. Most of January, there's no cricket going on. I know PSL just got announced also that there will be PSL starting from January 27th with Multan Sultans will be playing Karachi Kings. That's going to be the first game. Until then, after the West Indies series, which ends I think December 14th or 15th, something like that, everybody will have a break. But I hear your point. In test matches, you do need a bit of experience. We don't have to try things out as much there as we can in T20s.
Going forward, I think they're gonna just scratch. You know how you used to be 5 1 days and 3 T20s?
Yeah.
It's gonna be the other way around. So
Mhm.
it'll give them more opportunities to rest your superstars in between. But at the end of the day, man, another W for Team Pakistan, and we'll take that.
Yes, and on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up our episode for today. Thanks, everybody. Make sure you check us out on our Facebook page, on our social media platforms at Crickellectuals. Feel free, and we encourage you to please send us your questions. And we're looking forward to start to incorporate some of these questions that we get from listeners like you into our episodes. So please do engage with us on our social media platforms. Let us know what you're thinking. What do you think about the analysis, the comments we share with you, the ideas we share with you, and we'd love to incorporate some of yours into our episodes as well. So until next time, have a good one. Peace.